Sabah everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to share with you guys my initial impressions of the S8 and the S8 Plus after using them for 3 days. Also how I transitioned from the G6 over to them and transitioned my applications information over. And then of course, how do I set them up? So this is TK. Let's go ahead and check out my current setup and impressions of the S8 and the S8 Plus. Here's the 3 devices I had. I did work with this G6 for about 3 weeks now. I received it early from T-Mobile before the even original official release date, which was April 7th. So I've had this device, I've been using it, it's really nice. Let's take it out of the case. Just for reference, the cases, or at least mostly the cases that I use on my devices are VRS design cases. So here is the G6. It's very nice. I like the color. I decided to go with the midnight black color on it, or the black color. Correct me in the comments below, of course, as I think it looks the most appealing of all the devices. It has that nice, darker configuration here. The screen ratio with the 18.5:9 or 18:9 aspect ratio, 2:1 really works very well for me. I like the resolution that we get on the screen. I like the fact that you can actually just use almost all of it. You have very little bezels on the top and the bottom. The fact that it's water resistant, wireless charging in the US model at least. It does have a single firing speaker, but we do have USB 3.0, which is Quick Charge 3.0 compatible. And of course, those dual lenses in the back. That I think by far are my best features that I like about this. We lost the IR blaster, we don't have the quad DAC, so some of the things from the V20 didn't really make it in here, but again, just keep in mind that for what the G series is, this is a very nice device. So transitioning over to these two guys, I had to download and sideload an application, which is a really interesting concept. And I say that because the, where is it? Here it is. So the Smart Switch application by default, if you go to the Play Store, cannot be downloaded on the G6. I don't know if it's by design or just not a compatible app. I did sideload this one on my G6 to be able to download my information. There's some notifications coming in. And I was able to transfer my data from here to both of these devices. And I did them in a slightly different configuration. So the main thing you want to use essentially is that little dongle that comes with the box, the little OTG adapter, plug it in, the regular USB-C cable here, and the OTG with the USB Type-A cable into your main device that you're transferring to, and you're set. I did change the launcher on both of them. I am using Nova Prime, but I installed it a little bit different on both devices. So you'll notice here on the left, this is more closer to the standard view that I do. I'm actually able to just swipe up from the bottom, and here's my launcher, my app drawer, and I have a page set up with folders, and then I have all my applications installed. I don't have any additional home screens as I try to keep things just clean. One main home screen with the main important things for me, and I did a little bit different here. Now you notice that the interface here with the Nova launcher, even the new one, has the ability of going up, and then this one is more closer to just a stock, and I'm able to go through and then search for applications and then launch them this way. I also did disable basically any option to show Bixby on the left or anything, not even Google Now, as I again like to keep it as one home screen. Of course, we still have the Edge display, which are functional things that we use directly from Samsung. I did not disable those, but just from the sense of what I use on the device overall. I've had both of them in my hand. I've used them both kind of like daily drivers, sorry for this one. But again, I was trying to take a couple of pictures of my son, and he was like trolling me with a little hat in there. And then again, I used this device, just trying to take a quick selfie. Let's go back here. The camera performance is amazing. They cannot really go bad. I did post this one on my social accounts on Twitter and on my Instagram account. So it's something to keep in mind. You're getting a really nice display, a very nice camera. There's nothing really you can say bad about it. What I did find that was really functional for me is just the way I use the setup. I'm using the wireless charging, of course, using the quick charging technology, the adaptive charging, which works really good with my Quick Charge 3.0 adapters. So I get fast charging almost everywhere. I'm not missing any cables. As far as the setup, as you noticed, again, I did keep it where I do have some gestures here built into this one. So on this one, if I double tap, it takes me into my Google Now. I did remap the Bixby button on this device. Let's go ahead and launch it. And it launches the Bixby button. It launches Google Now, and I did the same thing here. Now, I did not install the update on either one of them. Both don't have the recent update, although actually you could see here the Verizon one is waiting to be updated. And I do know the moment I update this, the functional option here will go away. Not an issue for me, as I do have some workarounds. Obviously, there's additional workarounds to be able to remap that button. But overall, very nice on the performance. Let's go through the setup a little bit. I'll show you guys my main unit here. This is my T-Mobile version. Again, I did apply the theme. This was something that I showed you guys when I did the unboxing. I applied the dark theme on the device. I swapped my buttons back to be, the recents on the right and the back on the left. And if we go through a little bit, I have a few folders that I like to customize my things. This is kind of like my media consumption or social media event. So you have, Twitter, you have Instagram. And the reason why I have Phoenix and Twitter, this is going to sound really bad, but uploading videos, as far as sharing videos on Twitter, I find it to be a little bit simpler interface using the Twitter app with the ability of customizing and shrinking and actually just exactly what you want to do with the video, but when you want to post it to Twitter, while I actually use Phoenix for my main consumption. I have Skype, of course, Jabber. Metal I use for Facebook interface. I don't like to install Facebook as it drains my battery, so Metal is a really good browser option. So it opens up Facebook in a browser option. Twitter, of course, WhatsApp, Periscope, Hangouts, all the standard ones. The other thing here is just normal, automation, home automation type systems. All of those are put in one side. Flare, Ring, Nest, of course, eHome, and then all the smart things. Just the ability to incorporate everything. And then if you've ever seen my Bloom Sky video, it's a localized weather, Internet of Things type of a device. My main Google applications, Studio and YouTube, obviously, for managing my YouTube information. Email accounts, I use Bluemail for my non-Gmail, and Gmail, obviously, for the Gmail. Even though you can combine them, I find it easier to separate, as I just don't want to have one mail application that just houses all my emails. Last but not least, as far as a file explorer here, I do use Solid Explorer. It's one of my main ones. I've been a really big advocate. I love the split screen option. If we go to screen this way and then you just open it up, you can see very, very nice. And it has a really nice dark theme now, which I really appreciate. Last but not least, as far as music playback, I do listen primarily to podcasts as well as Google Play. I have a subscription here and the podcasts, of course. You're gonna really laugh at me when you see, oh, he has Allo and Duo. The reason why Allo and Duo are not sitting in my regular social feed is because they never really end up being used. I have them there in case there's a big feature that comes out that maybe will make me want to use it. And of course, we have Pokemon Go, something I play with all the time. As far as a gallery application, I do use QuickPick, and it's one of my main ones that I've appreciated and used over time. I like the functionality, I like the integration with the CM Cloud to be able to back up my pictures, and of course just be able to customize it and then integrate it with different social accounts, as far as even just going to 500 pics, mobile themes, setup, Wi-Fi transfer. Very nice, very functional, and I find it a little bit more functional for me than just using, let's say if I wanted to go use the stock gallery application. It does feature editing inside and some customization, so definitely really nice. On my main page of my app drawer, and you notice I have 4 pages, I didn't organize everything. I try, and at some point I will, but the main thing, again, it mirrors the main entry. I have the most recent applications on top, the search and ability to go in and just check the Play Store or the Nova settings. I have my automation folder, my banking applications, my camera. These are the editing software. I use Power Director for editing video on my device. Cars, this is just obviously Uber. Editing, this is just video editing tools separate from picture editing. These are video. So you have Boomerang, Adobe Clip, Photo Director, and then Zoom for Instagram, QuickPick, and Collect. And then, of course, games. These are just some of the games I have. I need to reinstall alone, actually, since the transfer. This is my gear applications. I use them to manage my gear watch, and I did install those in there. Google, this is just all the main Google ones that are installed. Movies, these are just the movie streaming applications that you can watch online. Next, we have music applications. You have TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Amazon Music. I do, again, mostly focus on Google Play and podcasts. That's why I have them in the front. But I do want to keep the other ones in case I want to use them. YouTube Music becomes functional when I want to listen to concerts. QNAP, this is basically my home NAS setup. So these are my applications that I use them to interface with it. These are the main applications I'm using with the quad videos that I do whenever I review those for you guys. Remote apps, these are, again, I think I should really consolidate those two, but these two should be in the same folder. My root folder will become more functional as I'm able to move into root functional things on this device. At this point, all I have is Helium. Helium is not really a root application, but it does gain more functionalities if you do go in the root. Shopping, again, all the shopping, the rewards, movie theaters, B&H, Amazon, all the good stuff. Social accounts, this is very similar. It's a drag and drop to the home screen. Vinly is a folder that I use. If you've ever used Vinly as a car, it uses your ODB adapter that fits into your car, and you're able to get statistics on your car as far as mileage, trips. And it also has integration with Home or Nest, so that you can actually turn on and turn off Nest based on where you are. Now you're going to be like, why does he have Android Wear set up on this? I actually do use my Huawei watch still. I'm able to switch between the two. Although I love this watch, I don't feel like this is appropriate for every single occasion, and I do end up switching between it and the Huawei watch, and I like to keep everything set up and connected. Last but not least, expose when we do have everything set up correctly. Now, the awesome pop-up video player and Greenify are not required to have exposed, but when they do have exposed, we will be able to have much more functionalities out of them. And then the rest are kind of a little bit of a mishmash of applications. This is the training application, my router application. This is the remapping application I use to remap the button. It's called All-in-One Gestures. Again, be careful. If you have already installed the latest update that T-Mobile pushed in or Verizon, you lose that. This just stops becoming functional and you do need to go into a different form. Next, we have APK extractor for all those apps that I'd like to be able to extract APKs. And then it goes through, Droop. I did a review for you guys. Here's one of the games I downloaded for Oculus. I did install Oculus on this as well. The internet browser, iHeartRadio for gear, my insurance card, CPU-X, Mr. Phone, definitely one of the best applications I've used. I didn't turn it on this one yet as I transitioned, but it's a great application to check if you want to be able to see like spec comparison between what you have and what another device can have, and do you want to make that transition. I do have a package disabler, and I'll do a separate video for you guys on this one. And I have Runtastic for my running app, secure folder that's built into the system, speed test. And again, this is the switch parental configuration for parental control, smart switch. Samsung Pay, of course, was installed. Last but not least, Textra is my #1 text messaging application. I think you guys saw it at the beginning here. I live and die by Textra. It's the best. And as far as visual voicemail, that's just for T-Mobile, YouTube TV. The Yi Action Camera, this is the interface application that you could use to interface with either the Yi Action Camera 4K or the 4K Plus. Let's go ahead and say here. So these are the cameras that you can use. So the verdict on both of these devices, initially, I think it's very nice. I like the interface. I like the fact that I'm having no problem as far as Bluetooth. One of my biggest gripe, at least with the G6, was I could not connect the G6 to my Honda. It's a known issue where the G6 or LG devices have issues with Honda cars. The V20 didn't have a problem. The G5 didn't have a problem. The V10 didn't have a problem. They would connect. I mean, they're not the best connection. They would have some issues a little bit here and there as far as audio, delay in recognition for on-screen controls, like my steering wheel controls will have a problem. Plugging into Samsung, not an issue, not a single problem. And of course, I did transition my Gear S3 to it, and it works perfectly. And the beauty with Samsung now is that the Gear S3 watches, or the Frontier, are no longer bound to just Samsung devices. It will work just as well with any other device. As far as how many devices are compatible, it's going to be up to Samsung to allow us to be able to use our watches with everything else. But it worked fine for me on the G6, not initially. I had to wait for a few days before Samsung did decide to make Samsung Pay compatible with, and I'm talking about only where it comes to the G6, the Frontier Edition watch, Samsung Pay, not the full-fledged one. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm really excited about both of these devices. I'm going to be testing them out a little bit more. Camera performance so far has been top-notch. Battery performance has been top-notch. Wireless charging, water resistance, all of those things that we really expect out of this are really good. I haven't had that much haven't seen any of the issues that have been reported with the red tint, as I do have two different devices and I should be able to see them because I can compare the two. Both seem to be working well on basically the S8 and the S8 Plus. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you prefer the silver? Do you prefer the black one? I personally am kind of leaning towards the black one, but again, I think the silver is a really nice color and it just emphasizes the really great engineering that was put on this device. Like and subscribe as usual. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below and the things that you'd like to see about this device. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Be safe. Thank you very much.